Good morning, Facebook peeps. Welcome to my first official Facebook Live on my Mickey Stewart page. Welcome and good morning. If you're on live, please say hi. It's a beautiful day here in Crieff, Scotland. And I'd like to share with you on this page some really motivational, inspirational content to just brighten your day, brighten the internet from all the doom and gloom. And so that's all you're going to find on this page. So thank you to everyone who's already liked the page. And if you haven't done so and you like it, please do that. So today I'm going to share with you kind of two little topics. One of them is why I really listen to my instincts, and an example of that, and also a huge enlightenment that I had yesterday morning that is part of the reason why I'm here now, and that helped me knock out a big limiting belief. So welcome again, everyone. My name is Mickey Stewart. Some people might know me as Michelle. I'll cover that in 1 second. But just to tell you a little bit about myself, if you don't know me, I'm a drum teacher. I teach in the private schools here in Crieff in Perthshire, Scotland, and I teach online. And I've probably been online since about 2008. And I also help coach other world-class musicians learn how to do what I do online, and even worked with 4-time Grammy nominees. So I get to hang out with some super inspiring people, and that is really important, to surround yourself with like-minded people who help kind of feed you those feel-good vibes, especially in this very sensitive kind of time in history. So I hope I kind of add a little bit to that for you. So first of all, I'm going to address why you might notice me that I was Michelle on Facebook and now I'm Mickey, right? I promise you, Mickey is actually, has always been my name. It's actually the name that probably 90% of my friends and family have always known me as and called me by. But Michelle's actually not even my first name. It's my middle name. And my first name was Claire. And I feel even less like a Claire than I do Michelle. But I was named Claire after a nun that lived in the Villa Madonna that was at the bottom of our hill in Little Brador in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, where I grew up. And my dad was a singer-songwriter. And when he was sending some of his songs into his publisher to get published, he needed to include the sheet music for it. But my dad didn't read or write any music at all. He couldn't read. He would look at our music and go, "Oh, geez, I don't know how you can read that. It just looks like a bunch of black dots on the page," right? And so Sister Claire helped my dad write out his songs so he can send them to the publisher. So that's why I was named Claire. But I don't feel like a Claire, and I don't feel like a Michelle. But back in 1995 or so, when I first moved to Scotland, and I was playing with a really great pipe band, the Vale of Atholl Grade 1 band. The guys in the band were all like my older brothers. And I think that they thought that Mickey sounded a bit like a drunk old Irish guy. It didn't really sound very feminine. So they preferred to call me Michelle. But still, professionally, when I would be teaching at the Gaelic College, in all the brochures, I'd still be Mickey Pirro or Mickey Stewart. And so, I always liked being called that. People would remember that name, and more so than Michelle, which is really common. And so, but when I went online in 2008, I had to think about branding and all these things. And sometimes you fall into that trap of worrying too much about what other people think. What would other people prefer I be? And I kind of got, and I guess I thought Michelle Stewart would sound more professional, And so I just went with it. And so but I had a big realization back in May this year. So I'm laying on the Kundalini yoga mat on my Zoom class. And of course, the best part of the yoga class, right, is when the teacher says it's now time for relaxation. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite words on the planet, right? And so I'm laying in after this great yoga class, and I'm laying there, and I get this big bolt of an idea. This is like when I'm trying to still my mind. This is when I get my best ideas, is on this yoga mat. And so I get this idea. It's like, you're not Michelle. You don't feel like that. That's like, it doesn't feel like you. You don't even like that name for you. And so I'm laying there, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't even like that name for me. If I live for, I'm going to be 50 next year, and if I live for another 50 years, do I want to go by a name that I don't even feel like? I thought that is ridiculous, right? So I'm like, that's it. I'm going to change my name. But of course, reality sits in. I'm like, oh, I don't know, but I've been known as this, and all my videos say I'm Michelle. So anyway, about 2 or 3 months go by. Again, in August, about 2 months ago, I'm laying on the mat again, or last month, and it boom is like, hello, were you not listening? I'm like, so I got up after that class, went online. MickeyStewart.com was not available in May. So I just kind of, played with some different spellings, but I really liked that spelling. And I go back onto the domain name search, and the MickeyStewart.com wasn't available before. It's now available, and it's only 99 pence, right? So I took that as a sign. And so I listen to those signs. I'm one of those weird people who like, oh, that's a sign. I'm taking like screenshots of when it comes up 11:11 on my phone. I'm like, I have one on my phone from like the other day, right? So anyway, I took that as a sign. And so that week, I changed everything to Mickey Stewart online. And people were like, oh, but I know he is Michelle. That's okay. I know it still takes me a second to kind of start recalling my name, Mickey. But it feels so right. It's like a knowing. And so what I wanted to share was when you get those knowings, like the ones that you can't deny, right? So I knew to follow this particular idea because I've listened to my gut enough times about other things in the past, and they work out. So I found out that when I do things because other people want me to do it and I don't, they never quite work out right. So this knowing reminded me of when I met my husband Mark, and I met him one night on stage, and I went home. My roommate said, "Oh my God, you're going to marry this guy." A couple of nights later, talking till 2 a.m, still nothing happened. I'm driving over the mountain, Kelly's Mountain in Cape Breton, back to my mom's house at 2 a.m, and I'm like, I need to go to Scotland to see if this guy likes me. Like, I need to go. Like, I'm there, right? And so I go in back to work at the Halifax Citadel at the fort, the historic site. I was working as an animator, as a soldier's wife. That's a whole other episode, the synchronicities. Anyway, I go into my boss's office, who happened to also be my lead drummer at the time. I say, Dave, I need to go to Scotland. The Worlds are next month. I need to go to Scotland. Oh, yeah. Can I get 2 weeks off in the peak tourist season? Oh, and by the way, I could also have a pay advance to pay for my flight, right? He gave it to me. So like 3 or 4 weeks later, after driving over the mountain, I am on the plane. 2 of my friends are also in tow because they thought we can't let her go to Scotland by herself and have too much fun without us. So yeah, and about 3 or 4 months later, I was living here. So that kind of knowing, that knowing I had when I was driving over the mountain, that's the knowing I had on the yoga mat. So that's how I knew to follow my gut. And you know what? As soon as I changed it, like that week in August when I changed my name on Facebook and my Instagram and everything, got my domain name, everything flowed with such ease. That's the best word I could use. It was just ease. And so it's like a muscle that if you don't use it for a while, that it gets a little bit weak. But once you practice trusting your gut, you get better and better at it. So I would highly recommend that you listen to that little voice. And then yesterday morning, I'm doing my morning practice and writing in my journal. And I'm trying to, think about things that I want to do, especially on this page. I want to share motivational and inspiration and things that motivate me and help me and inspire me. And so I was thinking about all these, doing a Facebook Live. Believe it or not, doing a Facebook Live for me, like my heart was pumping before I pressed record. I did a little practice run, like just talking to the computer twice, and the more I practiced it, the more my heart was beating. And I thought, you know what? If I wait too long before I do this, I won't do it. So, I'm great at recorded video. I can edit it, I can delete, I can reshoot, but live is a different ball game. And so this is me stepping outside of my comfort zone. But I had this realization yesterday that I started this page a month or so ago with the intention of doing these lives, and then I didn't do a live. I thought, oh, I need to do like a show every week, or I need to do this, and I got too wrapped up in what I think I need to do, or try to make it all perfect and pretty. So I realized that I had been holding back from doing too much, because I had this belief, well, you had that brain injury, and if you commit to doing too much and then you can't, and then it just, you look wishy-washy, and so I was using my belief that, some days, I look full of energy right now, but I'm, 2 years ago I had this brain injury that took me a year to recover, and during that year of recovery, I would feel great for like 2 days, and then I'd go, and then like boom, I'd hit the wall. And people didn't see that I had to be like lying on my bed or on the couch for several hours in the afternoon just to get back to normal. And so I kind of had that fear that my physical limitations, I had to protect myself from that happening. And then I realized that hasn't really happened. I burned out a little bit in the last year. I'm basically building and creating a 12-month program. I'm just going into month 10 of a 12-month course with my more advanced Platinum Level 2 Keepers of the Rhythm students. And I've just realized yesterday that I created more content in the last 9 or 10 months than I've ever created in my entire life. And so that limiting belief of that, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, I was like, I just completely proved myself wrong, because I've created probably about, just for this course, at least 30 plus hours of video content, let alone like all the PDFs and things like that. So it was like scary and inspiring at the same time, because the scary part was like, oh darn, I don't have an excuse now. And then the empowering part was like, okay, I now have permission to just go for it. So this morning, I was so fired up. I woke up at like 3:50, and I was like, oh, I can't really get up till 5. Like 5 is like super early, but I'm like, no, I better just lay here. And then 4 o'clock hit, I'm like, the heck with it. I'll just get up and I'll get my coffee and come up to my couch, and I got my Wayne Dyer Power of Intention book, and I just sat and read and just inspired myself. And so that's a kind of a long-winded first episode of High Vibe Live is what I'll kind of coin this session. And I realize I'm probably missing out a lot of my friends and family that are in North America, but a big part of me was like, if I don't do this right now, this morning, I will let that fear kind of slip in, and I'll chicken out later. So that's why there might not be anyone watching live, and that's okay, because if there were a lot of comments live for this first one, I'd spend most of the video just doing this, trying to read the comments. So if you're watching the replay, please just put #replay and let me know where you're watching from. And if you got any value from this, please like it and share it with anyone that you think it would help. But yeah, I wanted to share with you just those two things, to really listen to your gut, listen to that inner voice, and maybe look at any other, and maybe even just one limiting belief that is holding you back from doing something, and analyze, what do I believe is true, to think this, and is it actually true, right? So I will leave that for now. I'm off to record a bunch of videos for my level 2 students, but I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.